fuck you wanna be? Like I am what I am, I'm just saying. Homie, this is me. If only you could see, this is who I am, man. Understand? You can choose to be who the fuck you wanna be.
Yo, what's up everyone? Had a really awesome experience, to be honest. Pretty much I was just finishing work, just went and had a shisha. Ended up bumping into a guy who kind of overheard me talking about music and music managing. We ended up having an unbelievable conversation. I fucking love conversations like this, where two individuals, two energies are just flowing and expressing their feelings and just offering value to one another. Whenever I have these fucking moments in conversations, I always like get angry at myself for not filming it or whatnot, but you can never film like these types of moments because they're so present and in the moment. That's when you need a fucking D-Rock, man. God damn it. You need a goddamn D-Rock to film this shit. But yeah, we were pretty much just talking about music and, you know, self-development, self-awareness and perceptions and stuff like that. His name's George, by the way. Lovely guy. Big shout out to him. And yeah, he mentioned something at the end of our conversation which really kind of stuck with me. He told me that at the end of our conversation, he had a paradigm shift. Now, this was actually a new meaning to me. I hadn't heard this term before, a paradigm shift. Basically, a paradigm shift, from what I gather, is the sudden alteration of one's perception or belief of something. And I found it very fascinating that there was a term, like a terminology for what, you know, I'm always talking about, what we're always talking about, which is kind of self-development and bettering yourself and kind of being open for change. And I love this concept, this term paradigm shift. I think it relates to everything I'm always talking about as well. I'm going to start using this concept, this term a lot more as well. Everything that you want to be doing in life, now that I know about this term, is essentially consistent paradigm shifts that are bettering yourself. When you want to improve and when you want to keep bettering yourself, because that's all we want to be doing as humans. We never make it. And that's what I was discussing with George as well. We never make it to this, what we have in our heads of making it. There's no end goal to it. And that's why you see some of the most successful people like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos. They're reaching this success point of financial and kind of power, but they're not stopping what they're doing. So there's no end goal to it. But what we are constantly doing as humans is bettering ourselves and achieving more and more and more until the day we physically die. And now that I look back on it, I've had so many paradigm shifts in the last year or two that have allowed me to open my awareness and perception to different, I don't know, I guess you could say alternate realities. I mean, that's essentially what it's kind of talking about. It's a very deep subject, but in that sense, when your perception is flipped, you're entering a different reality of what you perceive, which reality is perception. So I wish I could talk a bit more about it on how to give one a paradigm shift, but I think it's something that happens naturally. I feel like it has to come very naturally, but the individual on the receiving end of a paradigm shift has to be at a level of self-awareness and open-mindedness to receive a paradigm shift. I think that's what the key is here. You know, when I'm talking about self-awareness and really being aware of your emotions and the way you're thinking and the way you're feeling, I think that is key to having these paradigm shifts. And you see this all the time. You see people who have this one stuck belief their whole life, and they go through just believing the same shit for their whole life. I think you should constantly be having these paradigm shifts because you're constantly learning, where, you know, no one is ever at their maximum peak of intellectual awareness and self-awareness. So you're always learning from other people. So yeah, I think that's what it is. I think really tapping into your self-awareness and being very open-minded when having conversations with people and discussing new perceptions, I guess, being open to that. And that can also happen by dropping the ego. So this is like it all leads into this. It's super interesting. Yeah, so dropping your ego, allowing to have more open-minded conversations with different individuals will allow you to be more likely to have a paradigm shift, which will then in turn allow you to enter a much better, much more fulfilled, happier reality, if that makes any sense. Totally fucking makes sense to me. So yeah, that's fucking cool. That's pretty much it. Just wanted to talk about the paradigm shift. Super interesting. Shout out to George for giving me that giving me that term. I'm going to be using that a lot more. Makes so much sense to use that in context with everything that we're talking about all the time. I hope you're all doing well. Keep killing it. Keep doing you. On this note, with this episode, just, you know, be more open to conversing with other people and allowing your mind to see both sides of perceptions from other individuals or even within yourself. I think great things can come out of doing that and being open for that. So big love, guys. Have an awesome night, and I'll see you soon on the next episode.
Monday come around, she on the come now, but she told me she never popped a pill. I should never trust her. Fuck it, she's a hottie.